Welcome back. As I said a moment ago, I'm Pastor Mark Brand coming to you from Hillcrest Church. Today I have two very special people with me, Kenneth and Sandra Chin, all the way from the country of Malaysia. Thank you for coming and being with us today on Word and Spirit. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you.
You know, we Americans are so ignorant about geography. We probably right up front need to take a moment and tell our viewers where Malaysia is. I'm sure they suspect it's somewhere in Asia. I said it's halfway around the world. Can I take just a moment, look into the camera and tell our viewers something about the country of Malaysia and what God is doing there?
Well, first of all, geographically, many people ask us, where is Malaysia? And they know Singapore, they know Thailand, and so we say it's in between those two countries. Malaysia is a beautiful place. We're glad to be there. The food is great.
Yes, it is.
We just love the weather. It's, of course, much cooler here in beautiful Dallas, but we like the warm in Malaysia. And the people are warm. There are a couple of races there. We have Malay, Chinese, Indian. We're all mixed, but we are living in peace.
That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
I've been to Malaysia. It's a beautiful country. I remember driving from the city of Singapore, in fact, up to Malaysia through some of the hills and the mountains there, some of the tea plantations. I stopped and talking about the food. I had some, what is it called, satay? They look like they're an Asian version of a shish kebab. You know, I love traveling around the world, primarily because I get to talk about Jesus, but I also enjoy the food, I must admit, and peanut sauce.
Yeah.
And then Kuala Lumpur. You know, people in America, Kenneth and Sandra, are sometimes they think they're so provincial. They think that the only places in the world where they have technology or something is the United States or maybe Europe. And yet the tallest building in the world when I was in Malaysia was in Kuala Lumpur. Yes. How many stories is it? Do you have any idea? What
Could be 88 stories.
It's
Twin
quite
towers.
a building. Yeah, the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
And it's really an economic powerhouse today. Well, our friends, Kenneth and Sandra, pastor a great church in Kuala Lumpur that they'll tell you about in a moment. But before founding that church, the Lord used you to touch young people. Is Asia as a whole an area of the world where people are primarily old, or is it primarily a young population? Why is it so important to touch young people?
Well, there are many young people, of course, in Asia, and I think the majority, probably over 50%, are maybe below 25.
Wow.
But there is a growing, aging community in Asia. We know that it's growing in Singapore, in Malaysia, a growing, aging community. But the young people are a huge percentage of Malaysia, at least. And it's important to reach them if we want to see change in our nation. And I think the change must begin with them. If we are to see a greater future.
Are they hungry for God, searching for God? Are they easy to talk to about the Lord, hard to talk to about the Lord?
I believe they are very much in search for the truth. They are very good, you know, in the nation of Malaysia, people are very God-fearing. They believe in their own faith. Not everyone is Christian, but they have their own faith.
Sure.
Yeah. So they have a desire to seek after God. But the young people especially are really looking for acceptance, for identity. They want to know who they are, how they can contribute to life itself, and they want to have a say. So it is a growing, Malaysia at least, it's a growing population, loads of young people.
Well, I know the Lord has used you in a very special way to, many years ago, maybe 10 years ago now, to birth a form of ministry that was really of service and help to young people. Talk to us just a little bit about that before we talk about your church.
Well, 15 years ago, I received a vision from the Lord while on my knees in prayer for almost 2 hours, I think. I didn't even know it was so long that I was on my knees, but it was definitely a supernatural event. Prior to that, Sandra and I, were part of a youth group that was pretty large. It was 300 young people every Saturday meeting to worship the Lord. And it was just in a span of probably just 5 years, I think, that we suddenly saw less and less young people coming to that meeting, and even less and less of them interested in church altogether. And I can only guess that the world was becoming more attractive to these young people. There were probably more things outside of the church that were getting their attention. And what the church really needed was a revival. And so what happened was Sandra and I began to seek God and say, God, what is happening? Why are so many young people leaving the church, and so many young people not interested in the church? And so on my knees, I said, Lord, you've got to work for us. You've got to help us, because without you, there's just no way we can do this. And the church was trying all kinds of things, music and all that was good, but we needed something more. In fact, the young people were probably crying out for more. Something more. And so I said, God, you got to move. You got to really do something for us. And the Lord gave me a vision of the whole of Malaysia at the start, just darkened. It probably spoke about the spiritual condition of our nation. And then suddenly sparks of light just began to appear. And the lights came together, and it formed fires, and then bonfires. And then the whole country of Malaysia was just taken over by what I could only describe as hungry revival fire.
Wow.
And the vision just ended with explosive fires going out of the country. And I believe it spoke of missions, young people from Malaysia going out to the world. And so then I woke up from that dream, that vision. And I, for the next couple of weeks, began to seek God for what it meant, especially to me, and what I had to do. And of course, by then I had finished my degree. I studied law and was about ready to continue into my legal career. But God just got a hold of me and said, Kenneth, if you would do this for me, if you would lay down your life, your law career, I'm going to use you. And I didn't really know how He was going to use me, but I said, Lord, whatever it takes, just by your grace, help me, show me the way. And that's what happened in the following months. Just laid it all down and said, Lord, I will go where you send me. And He just said, it's time for Asia or Asian youth to rise up now and take the gospel into your own people, your own nations. And so that's how it started 14 years ago.
So you were a young man and you had a life-changing encounter with the Lord. Maybe you're watching today and you're thinking, boy, I'd like to come to know God in that way. Kenneth, do you believe that a young person who's watching us right now, or maybe a mom or a dad who has a teenager, and they see the influence of some of the negative things that are going on in the world right now, impacting their child's life, do you believe that through prayer, the young person who's watching us right now can have that kind of an encounter with God?
Absolutely. I've seen it over and over again. God's power through prayer is amazing. And of course, without Him, it's so discouraging. It's so dark. And negativism just everywhere you look is just no hope, really. But with God, there is always hope.
So how old are you now?
Now, I'm 39.
39. That was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets at all about giving God your youth?
No regrets. Totally.
Hello everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you've been blessed by this video, please share this with a friend and bless them too. Do like this video and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. Wishing you all good health and God's grace and favor to be upon all of you. God bless you. See you next time.